Welcome to the LocoLove podcast. You got Tony,
Sam,
and Manny.
Thanks for joining us. We got our special guest.
what's going on, guys? Eli Castillo.
Cool. Thanks for joining us, Eli.
Right on.
Thank you, fellas. Thank
Right
you
on.
for having me.
Yeah. So definitely, we're already getting into it a little bit. So we'll jump more into kind of your passion, and which is it seems like it's music as a whole, and then you got your genre of music, right? So we'll kind of find that out about you.
Yeah, different types of genres. I mean, I like all sorts of music, but I really prefer the metal, hardcore, punk background. You know what I mean? That's more of my keen, I guess, if you will. But all sorts of music, man. Like listening to Chicago, Earth, Wind and Fire.
Hey,
Earth, Wind and Fire goes hard.
What about Leonard Skinner?
Yeah, to hell, even Richie Valens, like Duran, like you name it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I do have one beef with country though.
What's that?
Dang.
I don't like new wave country. I like the old school type country.
You're talking about that pop stuff?
Yeah,
I don't like that.
I'm not a big fan of it. You know what I mean? It is what it is, man. Those dudes are making money. It's whatever.
I just feel like anyone can write a country song. If you lost a girl, have a truck, and your dog died, it's easy to.
I guess so. I
probably just offended about 90% of the
You know what's funny is I heard a joke and it says,
Oh man.
it's like, you know what happens when you play a country record backwards?
A good life.
Yeah, you get your wife back, you get your dog back, you get your truck back.
That's funny. That's funny.
That's cool. So music's your passion. So what got you into all of this, right? Well, first of all, before we jump into that, you've played with several bands and stuff like that. You want to throw kind of like
man, music is a big part of my life, man. I mean, do you want to go back to like how it all started, or just kind of go from there? Man, it was probably like I was 8 or 9 years old, honestly, and I have 4 older brothers, 3 actually, one's younger, but they had these Metallica tapes on the stereos and stuff like that, and they were cool artwork, like it was Ride the Lightning and like Kill 'Em All and stuff like that, and I was just like, whoa, I was like really intrigued by it, right? So
Hell yeah.
I popped it in, just hearing the thunderous loud riffs and James Hetfield vocalizations and stuff like that just kind of blew me away at that age, man. I was like, what is this? I was like, you know what I mean? Like I want more, you know what I mean? I want more of it. What is this? I like it. Being in 5th grade and kind of going into 6th grade into band and stuff like that. You're like, I signed up for drums or whatever. And, at the time, Eric, my brother, had a drum kit upstairs.
That's wild.
I remember he would tell me like, motherfucker, don't go to my room. Don't go to my room. I'm going to beat your ass. I was like, all right, like, cool. Like, you know what I mean? But one of those days he wasn't there, so I went to go check it out. He had fucking clothes on top of it or whatever. I was just like, let me throw this shit, and I just started like beating on drums, dude. Yeah. I just started beating on drums, man, and I was just like, whoa. I was like, I like this. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
This is cool, right? So I signed up for band. Nice. I think that's where we met.
Yeah, I wasn't in band, but we met at
we met at Horseman, right?
Yeah.
And then we were friends. You hung out with like a different crowd, but I also hung out with a different crowd, but like we knew of each other.
Yeah.
Right? Okay. So, I was in band. I did the whole band thing. Went to high school. Sam went to high school with me. I did the whole band thing, the whole march.
We became cool when you found out your brother was engaged to my aunt.
Yes.
You're like,
wait, my brother, your aunt?
Yeah.
Cool, dude. Like, it was badass, right? Like, it was like, fuck, you're my family, dude. You know what I mean? It was one of the things. I was like if I ever get into like trouble, like, well, my family got my back, right? Whatever. In school. So, anyways, I did the whole high school thing. I went to band, and it was in high school. I did the whole marching thing. Yeah. Graduated. You know, I had a kid. You know, I was in a relationship or whatever, but it is what it is now. But I think at the time, I met a couple of guys when I was a freshman, and they were like seniors. And they're like, hey man, we're just gonna do like a garage type band. And I was like, oh, what? Like cool, like what kind of style, right? Or I was at the time I was just listening to a lot of stuff, man. And, you know, I was listening to like Korn, Limp Bizkit, you know, bands like Soulfly. I was trying to like
new metal.
Yeah, like new metal stuff. Yeah, at the same time I was listening to punk like MXPX and just stuff like that. Like I was grasping a lot of things, and they were like coming at me. I was at different angles, right? And I was just like absorbing it.
Yeah.
And I was like, and I was at the same time I was just like kind of getting good like on the drum kit. So I was like, all these guys were in major influences and stuff like that. But at the same time I was doing my my homework, if you will, like with like professional drummers, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And just kind of like, just like I said, man, just absorbing it and like learning from like the best, you know what I mean? So
you actually took like lessons, or you just?
I did not take lessons
or self-taught.
but at the same time I was more of an ear guy, so like I would listen to a lot of records.
You try to play along, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Gotcha.
Exactly. I would listen along, play along to the record, or I would stop it and then I'll play it.
Yeah.
And then I'd be like, well, no, that's not how he did it. Let me do it the right way.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I would do that a lot. But at the same time,
So you're like Nick Cannon from Drumline, like.
yeah, I guess so.
I
Like,
just heard it, and he
yeah,
could do it.
like yes and no, because I knew how to read music. That's the cool thing.
Oh, wow.
You know,
That's
because not a lot of dudes can like read
This is true.
music, dude.
This is
You know
true.
what I mean?
This
You
is
know,
true.
I at the time I was reading music,
This is
and
true.
you know, I was taking like a music theory in class, and I didn't really pay attention to it. But you know, I took music theory, and you know, I was just learning the different notes and stuff like that, and I was just like, oh, cool, man. Like, I can read music.
Yeah.
I can fucking play the drums. You know what I mean? Like, like what more do I want? You know what I mean? Like, I just give me more. You know what I mean? So I kind of rode along with it. And then at the same time, some dudes were like, hey, man, you want to be our drummer? Like,
Yeah, right.
we're going to fucking do a garage band type shit. But
Yeah.
like, but dude, they were like playing the White Rabbit at the time, dude.
Oh, damn.
At the time, the White Rabbit was like huge
Yeah, that
here in
was-
San Antonio.
Yeah, that was a
That was
big
like
thing.
the like the new
That's
metal.
the mecca for like.
That's the mecca
Yeah.
of San Antonio, the White Rabbit.
yeah.
So at the time, man, like, you know, they would play like the backstage at the White Rabbit. So we would always play at I was playing at the Rabbit like at 15 years old.
That's wild.
Like 15 years old, like,
So this was like the hot spot in San
yeah,
Antonio?
it was.
Yeah.
It was, man. It really was
Like,
like,
happening, like if you playing there, then like you.
yeah,
you, like,
It's
yeah,
kind of
you own
like San Antonio was like the mecca capital of like metal music. You know what I mean? Like new metal music, punk
can believe
music.
that.
Like it was huge. And you know, man, like every like other Saturday, I was always at the Rabbit, man, or just, like playing a show or whatever. You know what I mean? And there I was, dude, at 15, 16, 17, until we like graduated, and then like,
So you're playing at school. You're going to football games, playing the marching band, and then at night you're going to White Rabbit.
yeah, dude, yeah, that was like my schedule. Like I had like a little schedule, dude. I was just like,
You had plenty of
Fuck.
practice then. Hey.
yeah, dude. Like it was just like the
Yeah.
music was so important
Yeah.
to me, man.
Yeah.
It was so important to me. Like
What was the band's name?
the band's name at that was called Sputnik.
Sputnik.
Yeah.
Nice, dude.
Yeah,
Nice.
and it was obviously a Russian satellite.
Yeah, I was like Russian, German.
Yeah.
Russia's a
crazy,
hot
right?
topic right now.
So, I mean, I was busy, dude. Like, I didn't have time to like, you know, for girlfriends or whatever. Like other dudes and stuff. That had a girlfriend. I was just like, man, like,
Yeah,
I want to do music, man. Like, I just want to play. You know what I mean? I want to play. You know? Yeah, I had girlfriends or whatever, but like,
wasn't serious.
it wasn't serious. You know what I mean? Like, I wanted music. Like, I wanted to play music. I wanted to play in front of crowds. Like, that to me was the beginning of like fucking playing in front of crowds and stuff like that. And I wanted to take it as far as I could with this.
So
man.
did like your parents or family kind of like know, hey, he's going and doing this White Rabbit stuff, or they don't even know who, or they had no idea what.
Dude,
was.
so it's funny that you mentioned that. Like, my mom and dad would always give me shit. Like, they're like, you're never at the house. You're always out, always out with your friends and shit like that. And I'm like, man, like, I want to do music. Like, sorry, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, school's important or whatever, but like, I want to do music. That was like my biggest thing, dude.
Yeah.
You know, now as I'm 37 or whatever, I regret not, you know, kind of like spending the time with my folks and whatnot. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
My dad passed away kind of more recently and stuff like that, and I just wish I kind of like would kind of spend more time with them and stuff like that.
Have it balanced out.
Yeah, have it balanced out, man. Have it like more of a
no one at 17 has their life balanced out.
Dude, no, like it's like you don't even know what the fuck to do at the time. You know what I mean? Like, so
like the future is only 2 years. It's
exactly,
exactly,
man. It's just like you're 17, you're 18, you're like you have your whole fucking life ahead of you, kind of shit, and it's like you want to do the things that you want to do, man. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? And
so you're high school, you're graduating, you're playing in this band, you're playing the White Rabbit. You have a kid now, right?
Yeah, I have a kid. I had a kid, and
so then what happens after high school? Like where do you?
Man, like I started like working at a hospital, and you know I was just doing that, but at the same time, like I was just like more focused on the music, man. Like I got into like with some other guys that wanted to start another band. And that became like to me, the biggest band that I was in here in San Antonio. And I was just kind of doing that on the side. And man, I give the medical field all the props because, you know, they would let me, you know, have the time off to kind of go on tours and stuff like that. And long weeks out and stuff like that. And,
you're working in the hospital and then doing tours at the same time.
Yeah, dude, like, dude, it was so crazy that I would come back home from like touring, and like literally like in 5 hours I had to go clock in for fucking work. How fucking crazy is that? That is like insane shit. Like, I don't know. I've never heard anybody do that. You know what I mean? But
that's wild.
You know, I would do shit like that and.
So who was the band you were with? I know you said it was the biggest band.
So like kind of Sputnik kind of was its own thing. It was like a new metal thing. And then I got in contact with some guys by the name of Daniel Rosen. And Jacob, it's a guy named Jacob Henderson and a guy named Griff. And we kind of formed like a hardcore band.
Yeah.
The band was going to be called Bitter End. And
it's like now like a legendary band in Texas, like in the country. Like people like it's not something you sleep on. Like,
yeah, it's like it's kind of one of those things. Like who like I'll get asked like, who'd you drum for? I drum for Bitter End. Oh shit.
Yeah,
it's kind of one of those things, right? You know what I mean? Like oh shit, like
I was definitely name dropping.
Yeah, you're in that band. Like that's badass, right? You know. And honestly, man, like it makes me feel so good, you know, knowing that I was in that band. You know what I mean? Because
your passion took you to that spot. Like like even like during the week, because they've been asking like, oh, who's the next guy? Because a lot of people were digging Tommy's thing. They're like, who's the next guy? And I'm like, this dude Eli Castillo. And I was like, I grew up with him. And they're like, oh, what did he do? And I was like, he's a drummer. He does music. And I was like, for a band, I was like, called Bitter Ends. That was like his big. And they're like, dude, for real? Like they're like, I was like, dude, that's sick. Like
it was kind of Bitter End was something that I guess San Antonio hardcore needed. Yeah. You know what I mean? As far as style, as far as like my upbringing and those other guys' upbringing, you know what I mean? It was very it was very raw. It was very. It was something special to us. You know what I mean? And excuse me. Bitter End just became like we were that band from San Antonio.
Yeah.
With respects to a previous band who I give much props, with all sincerity, that band started like the whole metal, like there's like metalcore, hardcore, and then like punk, right?
Yeah.
So like they were like that metalcore band that like set it off for us to take it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like they were like that band, like they were huge. They were pretty huge for San Antonio, and Sputnik would play with that band. Okay. You know what I mean? So like they were kind of like our big brothers, if you will. You know what I mean? But there's like, it's every generation. Like they were a little older guys, and I was still young. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So they played with bands like Hatebreed. They played bands with like Poison the Well. They played, they were big. They were pretty big. Dude.
Yeah.
They were really big. They played with bands like Converge. You know what I mean? So that band was like, I looked up to those guys because those guys were really, really cool. And at the same time, Greg went to Jeff too. Yeah. Greg was in that band, but also went to Jeff. So everybody was kind of like, everybody knew each other at Jeff. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It was just one of those things, and then we kind of came in, just kind of rode with it and took it, dude.
So you joined that band. How old were you when you joined that band?
Bitter. I was, man, like I said, man, like from the age I was fucking 11 to like now, dude, like I haven't stopped.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But I think I was maybe like 18 or 19.
Okay.
You know what I mean? It was like right after high school, I like
joined them.
Like we formed that group, man, and like we just took it, man. We took it like little by little, like we started practicing here. We recorded a demo, and then from there we recorded a 7-inch, and then kind of would travel like here to little spots, like we would play Corpus or we would play Laredo or Houston, and you get exposed like that. You kind of people will be like, oh fuck, well, Bitter End's playing here, Bitter End's playing there. You start building up, I guess, a reputation, if you will.
Start making a fan base.
Yeah. You start getting like fan base and stuff like that, and we were like DIY, dude. We were like printing our own merch and like, sacrifice. The biggest thing, and I tell that to younger guys now that are starting bands, you have to sacrifice yourself if you want to succeed. If you do not sacrifice, you won't be successful. You know what I mean? Where you want to be.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Because I think it was like blood, sweat, and tears with Bitter End, dude. Like it was like having to put money down to practice spot. Put money down for like shirts, like pay your own gas to go to these spots. Daniel was a fucking sweetheart, man. He fucking put a van under his credit card, like he did a lot of stuff, man. That me and Daniel are really, really close, really, really close, and I love that guy, man, and he did a lot for Bitter End. He obviously was a singer, but he really did a lot for that band, and I tip my hat off to him, because if we didn't sacrifice, man, we wouldn't have been successful.
You guys would have just been another.
We would have been just another band, from San Antonio. Oh, that was it. Like, but like the fact that we were going to these little spots here out of Texas, putting our name out there, playing like weekends over there and coming back, and then kind of going about our lives, right? You know what I mean? Like,
it's all independent too, right? Like,
at the time it was independent.
Yeah.
Because we were looking for a record label to actually put out our stuff.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So, man, I was trucking along, man. I was just trucking along, and at the same time, and things didn't work out with my relationship with my baby mama, I guess, and it is what it is, man. People go through stuff in life, and it happens. It doesn't happen. It's like you move forward, because I think if you stay in the past, I think you start breaking down, man. You start breaking down, and that's where depression comes in. That's where like everything comes in, and man, I mean,
you can't grow at all. Like, you just stay there.
You can't. So, I was working in the medical field and then doing the band at the same time. You know what I mean? But at the same time, like, our band was just like slowly, like, getting bigger, and getting bigger. The notoriety was getting
all the sacrifices that was starting to pay off. So at what point did it hit like where you're like, okay, here it's starting to roll.
Here it's starting to roll. Well, there was more. There were some times where like I couldn't tour. You know what I mean, due to like work and stuff like that. So like they would just get like just a fill-in drummer for that weekend or whatever. Yeah. But I think once we recorded the Minded Shame 7-inch, that's when like a record label from LA called Malfunction Records hit us up and was like, hey, we want to put out your 7-inch, right? Like, we heard good things about you. Like, at the time, like we did like a weekend in Florida or something like that, and then kind of came back and people start talking, you know what I mean? And I think that was kind of like the beginning for like the internet, I guess, if you will. That like kind of took by storm.
So right when we got out of high school, like MySpace started popping off. A lot of good music and a lot of bad music came from MySpace. So I think we had a MySpace. I'm not too sure, but
I'm sure you did.
I'm pretty sure we did. I don't remember.
You did,
but I'm pretty sure we did. And
I'm telling you,
I
did.
mean,
I know you did.
It took it by storm, dude. You know what I mean? And so that label from LA hit us up and was like, "Hey, we want to put out the 7-inch." We're like, "Fuck! Like, this is cool. How cool is that? Like, a record label wants to put my music out, our music out. You know what I mean? Like,
you guys are gonna start becoming the tape that, like, when you looked at Metallica.
You know what I mean?
That's the start of it.
I couldn't believe it, dude. I was like, whoa, like that's fucking cool.
Hell yeah,
that's real cool. And like, even like when we got like the final stuff, like the final 7-inch and everything, like the record comes in like different colors and stuff like that, and even the artwork was just insane. The artwork was done by a guy by the name of Linus Garci, and he's like an artist somewhere in like the East Coast or whatever. So that guy, a little story behind that guy did artwork for like AFI.
Oh damn!
And like a band like a hardcore band called American Nightmare and stuff like that. So that was pretty cool. You know what I mean?
That's
for
really
somebody
dope.
to do artwork for us on a 7-inch, like, that's just fucking amazing. You know what I mean? So, anyways,
you got that 7-inch?
I personally do.
Yeah,
but it's like in my vault of bitter end stuff. Like, I keep that, like, that's my stuff. You know what I mean? Like, I have a bunch of shit in my storage unit, and that's just like I have that record, and it's put away. Like, it'll probably never see.
Yeah, it's gonna.
You know what
it's
I mean?
gonna be there forever.
Yeah, ittle be there forever. But to know that, like
you did that though.
Yeah, like I did that. You know, that's cool. You know what I mean? That's like, I can pass that down to like my kids and be like, hey, what's this? It was me. You know what I mean? Like, how cool is that? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
they're also gonna try to figure out what a record is. They're gonna have to hit the Google
like,
really quick.
Well, actually, my daughter's
even a CD.
Like,
kids don't even know what CDs is.
Yeah, like my daughter's kind of, because we have a record player at the house.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
She's like, I bought her like records and stuff like that, so she listens to like a lot of rap, like Frank Ocean and like what's that guy's name?
If it's newer rap, I don't know.
Okay. Well, anyways, she listens to that stuff, and it's cool, man. Like to see her kind of put a record on a record player.
Gotcha.
Like it's nostalgic.
A little nostalgic,
you know?
for you.
Yeah, it's very nostalgic, and you know, it just makes you feel
records
good.
are coming back like as like collectibles and
In
everything.
full
like,
circle. Yeah, dude.
Like I've been to a few concerts recently, and I see them there. I'm like, oh damn, like they're selling records.
Yeah.
Some of them they're starting to sell tapes again.
Oh yeah, dude. Even hardcore bands do that too.
Wow.
They sell tapes, man, and they do their own artwork and stuff like that. And that's that's the coolest thing, man. That, you know, newer hardcore bands and punk bands, like they do their own. They're doing their own tape or whatever, and they're doing their own artwork for that. And I think that's just like so cool. It's like really, really cool.
Trying to get back to like the essence of like hardcore and stuff.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
So this record company hits you guys up, and so then are you guys like blowing up, going all over the place?
So at the time there was other bands, like, right, there's like other hardcore bands, and like we're just kind of like, if you will, like networking. You know what I mean? Like, hey, there's this band, like, hey, maybe you should do a tour with them to kind of get your name even further out. Where? To the East Coast.
Dang.
Or to the West Coast. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So the one of like my personal favorite tours that I've ever done was like, I did a 2-week tour. Then mind you, this was like already like 2005, 2006.
Yeah.
You know, and Bitter End was just like, had just taken the fuck off.
You guys
dude,
haven't dropped an album yet, right?
Yeah, like we did we have the 7-inch and we have merch, and we're flying with it, dude. Like we're going with it, right? And you know, we did our full US tour, or not full US tour, but like our 2-week tour in the East Coast was with like one of my personal favorite bands called Iron Age.
Oh, wow.
From Austin. We have a long history with that band. I have a long history with that band. They were very, very fortunate enough to take us out on the road to the East Coast for like 2 weeks, like starting in like, I think like going to like playing DC, dude. We played DC, like we played Philly. I think, I'm not sure if we played New York or something like that, but we went all the way to Canada.
Yeah.
You know, I was like 21, 22, whatever.
Yeah, it's like
21, right?
Somewhere around there, 26, 2006, yeah.
Yeah, so I was a 21-year-old in Canada, you know, fucking playing in Canada, like staying in Canada for a good while and then coming back down, and then like I had like, it was my first like big tour like that, so I was having fun, but at the same time I was also fucking miserable too. Like I was just like what the fuck, like, you know what I mean? Like all these emotions were going through my head, right? You know, you're like fucking millions of miles or thousands of miles from fucking San Antonio, and
homesick.
You know, you know what I mean? You're like, damn, like you're in another fucking country. You're in another country. Like, what the fuck? You know what I mean? Playing music, like, yeah, it was cool and shit like that. But at the same time, I was like, oh fuck.
Yeah, it's not like going like to Mexico. Like you're on the other side of the country, like because we're in San Antonio, so it's not too hard to get to Mexico. Yeah, it's pretty hard to get to Canada.
Yeah, so it's just like the shows were fucking cool there, man. Like, I mean, everything was cool about Canada, and then just being with Iron Age, man, and it was like those some of my best memories, dude. Like, I would never forget those memories.
That's what's up.
You know what I mean? As I know, some people are very fortunate enough to travel and to see the world, and some people aren't. Yep. You know, and I was very thankful I got to do that, you know, and you know, I will never forget that, man. You know, as much as however many shows I fucking played throughout the years, like I remember that tour. You know what I mean? Yeah. I had fun, man. I really had fun, And
it sounds like you guys were like finding yourselves in those 2 weeks. It was like, as a band, as a musician, as like a person, you're like out there finding yourself. Like in those 2 weeks, like it was.
Yeah, man. And
you have those moments,
So at the same time, like we were getting notoriety from the East Coast. You know, people were paying attention. They're paying attention not only to us but to that band Iron Age, because they were from Austin. They were not that far away from us, so they're like, oh shit, like 2 bands from Texas, and like, you know,
just murdered the East Coast.
Yeah, we just fucked up the East Coast. You know what I mean? Like it's unreal, right?
Yeah.
So we come back, you know, we play San Antonio show, and mind you, when tours would come through San Antonio, like we were playing with bands like Terror. We were playing bands with like Remembering Never. Like we were just playing with like Florida bands from like West Coast, like from the East Coast, West Coast. Like we were playing bands with like Desperate Measures. We were playing, you know, it was these bands that were just coming through San Antonio, and they just needed an opener, and we would hop on, boom, 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 and by playing a lot of shows like that, you start developing like your little fan base. You know what I mean? Like dudes that come out like and be like, oh fuck yeah, like, oh, Bitter End's playing tonight, or you know, and then the internet was kind of evolving and stuff like that. So, you know,
early social media.
The beginnings of social media.
Yeah.
So, you know, that was happening, man. You know, we were playing with Terror, and
they're still pretty big and still touring.
Yeah, dude. Yeah. Scott Vogel can be my dad. That's how old he is. So, you know, fuck, man. Like, you know, and Scott Vogel really, really liked Bitter End. Like, really liked Daniel and us, and backed us up like 110%. And it was like, and mind you, that record label was in LA.
Yep.
Terror's from LA. Scott Vogel was in like good connections with the guys at Malfunction. You know what I mean? And was like, hey, you know, Bitter End is like, you got to put their LP out and stuff like that. You got to, if they're going to do an LP, do it, put it out. And like,
he was pushing for you.
Yo, he was like dead on, like pushing for us.
That's sick.
So, So mind you, we were playing shows, right? We were kind of doing all that and stuff like that, and then must have been like, I get my dates wrong or whatever, but we recorded an LP in Houston with the guy by the name of Craig Douglas. Mind you, that guy is like, he does like I think he did like the sound for like Guns N' Roses shows and shit like that. You know what I mean? Like that dude was like,
it just keeps like going a notch. Like,
yeah, it's like he's like a fucking whiz when it comes to like sound engineering and how to record bands and stuff like that. So we recorded with that guy. Recorded the LP with him. At the same time, Malfunction Records was like, we're gonna do your LP, we're gonna put it out, right? Yeah. But I think at the same time, Malfunction Records was having issues with like, I think like money or the name of the Malfunction, and so they sold Malfunction to a company called Death Wish Records from Boston.
All right.
And
so from the West Coast record to East Coast.
To the East Coast, right? So the guy who ran Death Wish is the singer of Converge. His name is Jacob Bannon. And he was like, I don't know, a partial owner or maybe the full owner for Death Wish Records. Man, they have a fucking catalog of bands, on that label. I mean, you're talking about bands like Loma Prieta and who else? Bands like Blacklisted were on that label. Who else was on that label? I mean, there's a slew of bands on that label, and to kind of have those ties was like, holy shit. Like, these guys are going to take care of us. They're going to put out our LP. Like, fucking mind-blowing, right? It's like, it's like that. I think that was like, I was just like in awe.
Yep.
Because they were gonna fucking put on our LP, dude.
Nice.
Like, fuck. Like, I couldn't believe it, dude. I couldn't believe it at the time. And they put out the LP at the time. We were doing more shows out of state too, mind you. Like, we would go to California. You know what I mean? We'd go to Florida. You know, a couple of days here, a couple of days there. You know what I mean? Yeah. And you know, we played a festival in Ventura, California called Sound and Fury. And actually, we played the pre-show to Sound and Fury that year. The very first year they had it. And mind you, our LP was like fucking coming out like that week or like the week after that, and we had copies to fucking sell, right? Like, and like I remember like Daniel and our bass player at the time were like in the van doing like with markers, like doing the front cover, because like there weren't like the record was pressed, but there wasn't like artwork for it, right? So we were like DIY shit with markers and shit, and you know, they were doing the Bitter End, Climate of Fear. That was the record. That was the name of the record, Climate of Fear.
Classic record.
And they were doing it in the van, like one, you know, it is what it is, right? Like, dude, we played that festival, and I think like we set the tone for that festival. You know what I mean? Like a band. I forgot. I think it was a band called Go It Alone from like fucking Seattle. Came on afterwards. Nobody fucking watched that band. Nobody fucking watched that band. I was just like,
they really did go with it alone.
Yes, dude. I was like, man, fuck that. I was like, man, like the energy we had that day on that festival on that stage was something else, man. I mean, kids were going off. Kids were like, it was as corny as it sounds, it was like a magical fucking time for us. Yeah. You know what I mean? Our fucking record was coming out. I mean, a Texas band playing in Ventura, California at the time, like just fucking blowing kids' minds off, you know what I mean, away. And it was incredible, dude. It was fucking awesome. And that kind of set the tone for a lot of shit, because that LP came out and people were digging it, man. People were like, yeah, this LP is badass. Mind you, at the time, Daniel's lyrics were really relevant to the shit that was happening here in the United States. You know, 9/11, you know, whatever happened in 9/11, and just different shit around the world. And that record meant a lot to us, because not only were at the same time we were trying to find our sound, right?
Yeah.
Our sound was like very New York hardcore, very still punk, you know, sick of it all type style, very madball, very, you know, just hardcore,
in
dude.
your face.
Yeah, exactly, dude.
like that.
I pulled it up.
You found?
Yeah, I found it.
Yeah.
And you know, Daniel's lyrics, man, fucking hit spot on. You know, I'll tell you something. Every time, you know, the birthday for 9/11, like, you know, how people post like, oh, let's remember 9/11, you know, the lives we lost and shit like that. They always post the cover of our album, and they talk about our album.
That's crazy. That's
people. A lot of people.
I got goosebumps from that, because that's dope. Like, that's not gonna, like, no one's ever gonna forget 9/11.
No.
And the fact that and then we have the internet now, and we have social media, and that's gonna continue for years. We don't even know how far that's gonna continue.
Yeah, we don't know. We don't know. Daniel's lyrics really resonated a lot with people. And especially when he wrote that record, man. And if you go and listen to like the music tabs or like just look at his lyrics, he talks about the shit that's happening here in this world, dude. what we're fucking living. We're living in fear.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And Daniel writes some fucking amazing lyrics. Like, even though he's a little goofy at times, but I love that guy. But man, when he digs deep and he's about to record and shit like that, like, he's like a different dude, man. And I like that. I like that. And the way he sings and the way he portrays himself, I guess, is no one has his style, dude.
That's what you need.
You know what I mean? Like, a lot of people try to mimic his style, but they will never be like him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I think that record as a whole and as a band, like, that kind of like set the tempo for us to like play more, you know, go on other tours and stuff like that. At the time, travel with bands, you know what I mean? And, you know, start preparing us for our second LP, right? Mm-hmm. So, mind you, back at home, I had my daughter. She was born in 2006, you know, and, you know, I was doing that, dude. I was just working, family, band, working, family, band. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? It was a constant rotation for me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I didn't want to let it go, man, because it was like, we were just like at our fucking prime at the time, dude. You know what I mean? Like, and like just getting recognition, like fucking, like doing, like we were, like they were talking about us on the AP magazine. They were like, it was just like, it was here, bitter and here, bitter. You know what I mean? The name was already, the juices were already flowing, if you will. You know what I mean?
Like countrywide now.
Yeah. And here we go, man. And we're getting ready to record the second LP. Mind you, we had a couple of, you know, little tours under our belts. Yeah. And you know, just different band members, you know what I mean? Like at the time, and, you know, kind of like maturing in a way, as ourselves within ourselves. Mm-hmm. But still, when it came down to the band stuff, like, we were still about it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We were still core, we were still hardcore. You know, we respected a lot of shit, man, and, you know, we're getting prepped up to write this second LP again with Craig Douglas from Houston. Man, this time, man, we had, like I said, we were more mature with like our sound. Yeah. So we wanted to take it to the next level. Like more metal. Yeah. You know what I mean? More a little bit of like my style was progressing. Yeah. You know, so I had a bunch of like other stuff influences me. Like at the time I was listening to like a lot of Sepultura. You know what I mean? A lot of like Pantera. You know what I mean? Like I started like just venturing out, you know, cause that's me, dude. Like, I listen to all types of music, you know, not only hardcore metal, but like I listen to a lot of stuff. Like I was also listening to like a lot of oldies too. You know what I mean? Yeah. And you know, I was tying all that shit, man. I was tying everything, man. All my drum influences and everything like that. Like I was tying it, and you know, here we are, man. We go in the studio, and like, dude, we fucking recorded a beast of an album, dude. And mind you, we were probably, me and the guitar player were probably fucking high. And
I'm checking out y'all video right now. Look like y'all lit to me.
Oh yeah, are you looking at it?
Yeah, I'm looking at it right now. Y'all pretty lit.
Oh yeah. Is that like the White Rabbit video? What's this?
Nah, it's Bitter End, right? Climate of Fear, right?
Yeah.
Whatever this is, I'm looking at, man, y'all killing it.
Well, there you go. There's a bunch of videos. Actually,
and there's a lot of people there too.
Yeah,
killing it.
Yeah. So we're preparing this second album. Mind you, we're listening to a lot of more metal. I think this time around, Griff really like kind of outdid himself because he was like the main one, you know, with the riffs and you know what I mean. Hey man, I want you to do this type of drum, you know, and do this, do that. So it's like there's like Climate of Fear, right?
Yeah.
And then there was like Guilty as Charged, just a little bit higher, but like more. It's like different. It's like it's kind of like if our music got a tad bit darker. You know what I mean? More heavy. It was like, it's a beast of a fucking album, dude. And like, it's great, I think, right?
Yeah.
Like, and then, the album was called Guilty as Charged, right? So like, I mean, fuck, when you listen to that title, like, what do you think? Like, you know what I mean? Just a bunch of shit, right? Like, bunch of crazy shit. Like Daniel, like, again, outdid himself with lyrics. You know what I mean? Like it's like every like musical thing we record, it just keeps getting better and better and better, right? You know what I mean? Like
That's what's up, man.
You got to push yourself further,
right? Like that's
definitely what's up.
Or what? Or you stay stagnant.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Just like anything, like like you think fucking Michael Jordan like.
No,
hold on. We're gonna talk about it. Hold on. We're gonna go to this. Hold on. You think Michael Jordan like just stopped fucking practicing?
Never.
Bro.
He said he practiced so much that when he was in an actual game, it was just almost like another practice to him because he just practiced that much.
Boom.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Just wish you would pick someone other than Michael Jordan.
I reference that guy because that dude is fucking. He's GOAT, dude.
Oh yeah, no.
I mean,
we
fucking GOAT, dude.
We could have a conversation, but yeah, we'll give it.
And mind you, I don't know a lot about basketball. But the dude,
give me his ethics,
dude,
to get to where he.
Way, dude,
and it's true,
dude. Come on,
and it's true, Yeah,
like fucking come on.
I mean, all right.
Right? No. Can we agree? No,
yeah.
You know what I mean?
Work that,
So that's
he's the GOAT.
Dude. Like
I would.
That. I didn't mean to interrupt.
No, you cool.
Okay,
I got my own opinion.
Yeah, of course.
We all got our own opinion.
Everybody does. Yeah. Everybody does. But I like to reference that guy.
Yeah, but
because his work ethic, dude.
Yeah.
Yes,
I compare that to Bitter End in a way, because like every release we did was just better and better and better.
Yeah, that's what's up.
Better. So we record that album. It's heavy as shit. I mean, produced really well. Sound, I mean, fucking amazing, right? Now you go back to your critics, your crowd, right? You're like, hey, which album was better? Oh, well, I like Climate of Fear.
Of course.
Nah, man, I like fucking Guilty as Charged because it's a lot heavier.
Yeah.
Like, you have that balance, which is cool, man, because like, I like to feed off a person's energy and like their criticism and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like, man, I really like Climate of Fear because, you know, it's just like very New York hardcore.
Yeah.
No, well, I like Guilty as Charged because it's like more metal. It's like you guys found your sound and like it's just 10 times fucking heavier than Climate of Fear. So like, wow, like how cool is that, right?
Yeah.
Somebody coming up to you and shit like that and telling you how fucking amazing the fucking records are, right? Like,
yeah, that's dope.
So the record comes out again. Death Wish puts it out. The fucking cover of the LP has a picture of what's that serial killer's name?
Michael Myers?
No,
Is that a real
Ramirez?
Richard Ramirez?
Yeah.
That dude was wild.
That dude was wild, right?
Night Stalker.
So the Night Stalker, So they use like an image. I think on the back of the LP, it's like one of the pictures where like he was like in jail or like he was in court or whatever.
Oh, the famous one.
Yeah. So like they fucking use that, and that's fucking cool, right? Like
It's wild, dude.
how crazy is that, right? Like,
yeah.
right. So again,
Yeah.
going back, like still doing shows, playing shows, touring, yada yada yada. So it must have been 2012, 2013. We got asked to do a tour, a special tour, mind you. And I think you're going to like this one. So we got asked to tour with a band called Madball from New York.
Oh, yeah. Hell yeah.
So when Daniel told me, he was like, hey, we're gonna do a tour, and I was like, oh, okay, cool. Like, well, who's it gonna be with? He was like, oh, Madball. I was like,
damn.
oh shit.
Damn.
Like how dude, like that's like you gotta understand. Yeah, dude, like
Yeah.
that is my second favorite tour I did.
Hell yeah.
Madball is by far one of my personal influence. Like they were really big on me.
Yeah.
Just cause like going back to like the whole New York hardcore sound.
Yeah.
And we try to mimic it and right? Play it, that type of style.
Yeah.
Number two, they were Latinos.
Yep.
Freddie Madball, Latino. Hoya, Latino. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They were Latino. So that band really hits home.
Yeah.
That band was special to me, man. You know what I mean? And I have a lot of bands, right? But more so that band. The fact that I'll be playing under them like every night for like that 2 weeks was fucking amazing.
That's sick.
I mean, fucking amazing, right? Like going up all the East Coast and shit like that with them is fucking unreal. Like playing Philly, playing New York, where they're from. Like
that crowd had to be crazy,
dude. Insane. I had like the best fucking time of my life.
I mean, you kind of mentioned this before, and you kind of brought it up right now. I mean, with them being Latino, kind of the connection of hard rock, metal with like the Mexican culture and Hispanics and stuff like that. Because I think sometimes either you know, or you don't know that there's a connection there.
There's definitely a connection, man. Because so I want to say like even Bitter End. Like Griff, like he really loves, like, even though his last name is Jerzambek and we all know he's Anglo, right? Like, I'm probably the only Hispanic dude in the band, but they respect where I came from and they respect the culture. So much that Griff, when we went to the studios and recorded Guilty as Charged, there was a track called Sueños Muertos. And he was like, dude, like I definitely want to vibe out. Like, he goes, I want to play like that song is gonna be like tribal drums, like bongos and stuff like that, with me playing like classical guitar. And like when we recorded that song, it was a little bit intimate, because like we set the tone when we recorded that special song, because that dude was like just going off on the classical guitar. And when you hear that track, that's very you can hear the San Antonio culture, the Mexican culture coming out of what Bitter End is at this, behind it, like the heart. You know what I mean? We recorded that track, man, and Griff just fucking nailed it, dude, on the guitar. Like, I'll let you guys listen to the track after we're done. And you let me know if that's not San Antonio culture, then I don't know what is. You know what I mean? And that's like very like, I mean, dude, you can't get like more San Antonio than that, right? It was,
that's dope, dude.
you know what I mean? Like, it's like I tied my roots into like recording that album. Like, who gets to like do that, dude? Like, who gets to do that? Like, even
This
like
is
when you're writing like metal music, you know what I mean? You're also bringing in your own style and that your culture into it, and it's just like,
Yeah.
dude, like it's unbelievable. It's unreal.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. It's super. Like, I mean, that's what we did here. Is like we brought in who we are, like the way our dad raised us and our mom raised us, like, because our dad, he pushed you know, like just that pride in us to be Chicanos. Like I said, like when I was younger, I was kind of like, yeah, that's your thing, Dad.
Yeah.
And the more I got older, I was like, yeah, no, like,
You started respecting it, man.
yeah, more and more, and it's just like, yeah, like, yeah, I'm very proud to be a Chicano. I'm very proud to like represent that for people.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it's not just like, oh, like it's not Chicanos only. It's like, no, I want anyone that walks through that door, like, to know, like, you know, what's up and everything. Like, I want them to feel the same thing about us.
absolutely.
We're just jamming out earlier, like,
Oh yeah.
yeah,
Definitely.
Like,
Yeah.
you know,
You're right though. It is a special, you know, a culture with Mexican. I mean, you know, and you said like the whole, you know, the pop, or how we say punk rock.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I know my wife. She's Latina, and she told me she used to listen to that kind of music. So
that's awesome, dude. That's awesome.
So I'm
Like,
sure, you know, I'm sure it's it got to be something, you know, within your culture that you guys listen to that kind of music.
Yeah, dude. It's just, it's a kind of a way. It's kind of in our blood, dude. Like, you know.
that's what I was about to say. Like, being
Well, I
Chicano
felt-
is pretty hardcore.
Yeah.
Well, I feel like kind of it was, I don't know, just kind of what I've seen is like there was that very traditional culture coming from Mexico, right? And coming into San Antonio, so you have that very traditional. Then you have like that probably second, third generation that just want to rebel and be and still held into their culture, but there's that little bit of rebellion that typically punk rock, metal, and all that kind of represents. And so they still have like the slick back hair and stuff, but they're wearing the tight leather jackets and the you know, they're going with that rock
It's a
look.
mix.
But
Yeah, it's a mix.
Yeah.
Of both of them. Yeah.
You know what caught my attention. I don't mean to go off topic.
No, go ahead.
I don't mean to go off topic right now, but you don't see many gangbangers out there. Think
Like,
about that.
like we're in.
Like, even like where we live, dude. Like where we grew up in, like our hood, dude. Like Woodlawn area and stuff like that. You don't see fucking gangbangers out there anymore.
There's like crews and stuff and like little groups of people, like, you know, having each other's backs and everything. But like, yeah,
You know how it was
Yeah.
back then. I think it was a lot more harder and a lot more like you had that fear, like, fuck, like these dudes are gonna jump me. Like you had that fucking feeling, like, god damn it, like these dudes are gonna jump me, whatever, for like the wrong color shirt that I have on, or they're gonna fucking jack me for my shoes, like you know what I mean. But you don't see that anymore.
Nah, not really. No.
No, it's
Let me ask you this: why is that?
I think because San Antonio is more of a drug city, so at a certain point, like, these dudes don't care what color you're wearing. They're more about like what you can get from them. Like, they're like, you know what I'm saying? Like I'll sell to a Keen and I'll sell to a Blood at the same time, as long as their money's coming back to me. I don't care. Like, and then the crews too, and a lot of those dudes, honestly, like when we were growing up, there were gangs. But by the time we got into like middle school towards high school, these dudes were getting locked up because they say they're barely getting out now. Like, I run into them and some of them are like, they're still repping. I'm like, bro, it's 2022. You need to stop. Like,
bro, like,
just got out.
That shit is over with, dog. Like, right? Like, I don't know, man. That I was actually thinking about that on the way over here. I was like, you know what? I'm gonna bring this up to Sam. I'm gonna be like, dude, why aren't there like fucking gangbangers like walking up the street and shit like that, and they're like bumping their cars and shit, and You know, you don't see that shit anymore.
I think I think there's a mix of things. I think some of like what Sam was saying is part of it. I think honestly, the internet opened us up to a bigger world. I mean, let's be honest. Like prior to the internet, we had TV, and that's about it. Like, you were stuck to your neighborhoods and what was around there and stuff like that. Like,
you had to figure things out in your
You
neighborhood.
just talked about going all the way to Canada. Look, when you're in San Antonio, especially if you grew up on the west side, like at Jefferson and stuff.
You go to Austin.
Everyone brown was Mexican. You didn't really care Cuban, Puerto Ricans, whatever. You really didn't identify all of that. It was like they were Mexican, black, white, and Asian was they're all one group.
Yeah.
Then you start expanding out and you start saying, oh shoot, there's Nicaraguans that are light complected. There's Ecuadorians, Peruvians. There's all these different things, and you don't know that when you're closed in on things like that. Like I always felt like San Antonio is a whole different culture thing because yes, we're minorities, but probably growing up in the inner city, you never felt like the minority because 85-90% were Mexicans around you.
Yeah. Like we grew up in like going to Jeff and stuff. Like, I mean, if the minority was a white dude, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you're right.
Like if I saw you had blue eyes, I'm like, oh damn, like you're different.
Yeah.
Like,
so now these kids have TikTok and Instagram and all this other stuff, and they're seeing these things from around the world. They're seeing all these different.
But what's crazy is our culture is influencing them. It's not their, like, it's not from what I can see on the internet. Like, even like the hardcore scene and everything. A lot of these dudes, they're looking like cholos. They're buttoning up their shirts all the way up here. Some of them are popping it out, but then they have blue eyes.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? They got blonde hair.
There's something wrong with that picture.
It's like, but they're getting influenced from the Mexican, the Chicano culture, and it's dope. I think it's super sick.
Yeah, it's cool, dude. Like, may I add though? I think when the fucking internet came around, it fucking destroyed everything. It was good and bad.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
definitely.
There was a balance, but
Definitely.
to me, I think the internet just fucking destroyed everybody.
Well, I think it's a mixture of both. Like if you don't use it as a tool, it destroys you, right? So I think like now you have a whole bunch of people who are just constantly on like Instagram and TikTok that are sliding through and pushing through, and like, I mean, I was listening to this what was it? Was it a podcast or something? I was listening to something where they were talking about how, I can't remember if it was Instagram. I think Instagram just recently changed their rules like on the scrolling, right? Because it's all like from a business standpoint, it's all about the amount of time you spend on the app, right? They don't care what it shows.
That was Breaking Point.
Breaking Point had brought it up. It's all about how long do you get people to be viewing the app. Because then you can charge advertisement, you can charge all this stuff. And TikTok had that thing, like people are addicted to it. They flip it, they're looking.
The thing about that too, like and it was on that same one because I saw that one, and they're saying like we're not the consumers no more. The users aren't the consumers. Like they're not the ones that they're trying to get. They're trying to get the advertisers. Yeah, they don't care about us no more. They don't. They're gonna do whatever they want to on the social media game because the advertisements where it's at.
Well, and I think that's where sometimes they can destroy you, right? So like part of it is like you're talking about through your story, like all the passion and the do it yourself, right? And it's like literally in a van, you know, putting a cover to an album like probably hours before you guys are going on stage.
Yeah,
and like
absolutely.
And now, and you talked about sacrifice, but now a lot of people like they go on and they look at YouTube, Instagram, and all this, and they're like, well, I'll just put out a few videos, do something really stupid. I become an influencer, get 1 million viewers, and I'm going to make some money.
Yeah.
Which is really about the bigger business, Instagram and all them, making their money on your advertisement and your stuff. And so, it was like you guys said, too, about MySpace. You know, it opened it up, and you had great music, and then you had crappy music. Like, that's the give and take of some of this stuff.
Yeah, I agree with you on that. I just think social media is a very like
that's a very dangerous
dangerous
very dangerous, man.
Especially because like in social media I see it all the time, dude. They have like rowdy echo chambers where they just don't they that's all they like. and it's very easy. And then like the algorithms. I don't know if you guys seen that Netflix.
Oh yeah,
social media.
The algorithm is alive and well in fucking 2022.
Yeah, and once they whatever, like, because it's how long you stay on your phone, right?
Yeah.
So if you look up, whatever side you land on, political, any side you land on, lifestyle, and
it pops up.
And then Instagram takes that and they maximize it as much as they can because they want.
Yeah, dude.
But at the same time, you're literally getting brainwashed because you're not able to see the arguments. You're not able to see the other argument, the other side, or the other opinions because they're making sure that you stay in this lane, and like it's super dangerous in that aspect. That's why I feel like you have like this super unbalancedness of on the social. But I use social media and I promote all the time. I'm just like, so that's like the beauty side. Like if you can get away from like feeding into all the crap that social media and the internet can push, like you can make money off of social media, and you can even make like a pretty cool like page and everything, and you don't have to fall into that hole. But it's dangerous. I seen people go way over there. I'm like, man, you used to be normal. Like, what happened?
So you talked about having this passion from a kid and stuff. So like someone that's wanting to become, I don't know, a musician, hard rock, whatever it is. Like, what would you like advise them? What would you tell them? Like coming up right now, like,
man. If you definitely want to be a musician and, I guess you can say like follow a bunch of these artists' footsteps, if you will, or follow your own footsteps. I think especially, let's put it this way. If a kid who's 16, 17 years old and was like, hey, like I want to get into hardcore music. Man, I'll give you 5 bands. I'll give you 5 bands, and go to the roots. Go to the roots of hardcore. You know what I mean? Because that's where it all started, dude. You go to the roots of hardcore, and it kind of like it branches out like a tree, with different bands and all these different types of styles, and it starts with the roots of hardcore. 5 bands. Ready? The Bad Brains.
Yeah, definitely.
The Bad Brains. Agnostic Front.
Yep.
Minor Threat.
Definitely.
Who else? Sick of It All. I'm gonna throw that band in there. And for shits and giggles, Madball.
Hell yeah.
You have those 5 bands have different unique styles. You know what I mean? Different types of punk, hardcore type styles. Yeah. Right? So, that's where you start, man. That's where you start.
Yeah.
That you start listening to those bands and
then you'll figure out your lane that you want to get in. Boom. Got you. Yep. Right on.
Yahtzee. Yeah, man.
Yeah.
So to answer your question, I think really going to the roots of the style that you want to listen to or whatever, and then start from there.
Yeah.
Cool. I mean, you've been in the music industry for a long time. What's like the biggest lesson you learned in doing all of it?
If you want to be successful, I think it's going to take some time. It's not going to be an overnight success. You're not going to be like a fucking Justin Bieber and fucking be a one hit wonder kind of bullshit. Nah, man, you're gonna have to sacrifice, and you're gonna have to put in the work, man. You know what I mean? I think nowadays, like bands, like they don't want to put in the work. They don't want to fucking do DIY type shit. And
I mean, you guys were like in a van making your own covers for a record. Which
how fucking crazy
I
is
hope,
that, dude?
I hope there's people out there that have kept that and like.
How fucking crazy is that? Like we had Daniel Rosen and bass player fucking riding on the fucking LPs, dude, because we didn't have it in time.
Yeah. I hope someone has those albums still that has like.
Oh, dude, people have them.
They still have them.
People have those records.
Sick, dude. That's
with
That's
our
dope.
own artwork on it.
Yeah.
That's dope.
Yeah,
That's
dude.
sick.
Yeah, and then like a week later, they shipped out the actual records.
Damn.
How fucking cool is that? So that's considered a rarity.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. I'd rather have
If somebody has out one of those records, that's fucking awesome. Like, tip my hat off to you, man, because you got something that's very San Antonio.
Yeah.
man. You know what I mean? A piece of San Antonio, and hope you keep it. You know.
So what's in the future for you now?
Man, it's tough to say, man, because like right now, like I have a good job. You know, I have a great job. I have my wife. I have a 15-year-old at home.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I just closed on my house.
Nice. Congratulations.
Nice.
Thank you. It's been a long time coming. I want to add something to like me kind of closing on my home. You know, my dad, before he passed away, that's all he wanted for me. You know, for me just to own my home and live your life, right?
Yeah.
And I think I kind of accomplished that. And this one's to you, Dad.
Nice.
That's
Right
dope,
on.
dude. Hell yeah.
Nice. So at your job, do they know that you used to be the drummer of this big band?
Well, you know, it's kind of different, man. Because like where I work, they're like
Younger.
they're all about business. Like they don't really they don't really care
people.
too much like what you do outside of work.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's just like
But I wouldn't be surprised if some were like probably hardcore metals. They're like they're rockers in disguise.
but I like to keep I like to keep that like secret. You know what I mean? Like I like to keep people or like wondering like what does this guy do, right? What does he do on his off days? You know what I mean? He's all tatted up and shit like that, comes to work and dispatch trucks, cement trucks and shit like that, and you know, like what does he do? You know what I mean? But I like to keep it a secret until they ask. You know what I mean? Like I kind of like I'll hit them with like,
have you had that? Like someone come up and say, I heard you were you used to be the drummer of.
Like I'll have dudes that be like, oh, so you're in a band? I was like, yeah, man. You know, and like they freak out because like all my music's on like iTunes and Spotify and shit like that. And I'd be like, yeah, just type in this band and. Bloop, 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 bloop.
Yeah.
And they're like,
happening right now. That is
like right now.
Yeah.
Right, like right now, right? And then like drivers will come in, right? They'll get their ticket and be like, oh, so you playing in a band? I was like, yeah, I played in a band. Like I traveled, you know, kind of the world. You know what I mean? Like they're like, oh, cool. What's the name of it? And they would look it up. Like I could see them on the phone, right? And they're like, and then they'll come back, right? And they're like, dude, that's badass. Like I listened to it on the drive to go deliver concrete. And they're like, yo, this shit is awesome. You know what I mean? And it makes me feel good. And I'm like, oh, okay, cool. Thanks, man. You know what I mean? Thank you.
Because I mean, especially with the internet now, like,
oh yeah, dude,
your music's it's gonna outlast you and probably even like your grandkids.
Oh,
dude.
probably.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
oh yeah,
that thing is now forever.
So
dude.
So does your house have a drum room or what?
Actually, it came with a really fucking cool shed in the back that I'm gonna transform it into like my fucking drum room. How cool is that, dude? It's really cool. Like I'm definitely gonna like rig it up and like soundproof it that way, you know, the neighbors won't complain.
And does your daughter play anything? Like,
well, right now my daughter, I think I've told you, she's really focused on softball and stuff like that. So she's doing the whole softball thing, but she's still in band. Like she just still does the band stuff. She plays saxophone and stuff like that. So that's cool. Like my brother, who's a band director, really wants to push her to stay with band, but I'm over here like, you know, nah, man, she's an athletic person.
Yeah.
Well, that's the thing. Like if her passion is softball, then she's never gonna put 100% into that band because she's always gonna think. Just like with you, you were always thinking about music.
Yeah.
So whatever
I think so too.
else came through through those, like you didn't even talk about it because you were always focused on music, and that's going to be her with softball, right?
Yeah, man. I think I want it to be like that because my daughter's she has something good going on, you know, for her. You know, like she's athletic, dude. She's coachable. That, I think, to me, that's the biggest thing, and I think a lot of like this young generation, there's kids out there that aren't coachable, dude. Like, you know, they want to do it their own way. Yep. And that's fine, man. That's fine. That's all cool. But you have to be coachable, man. And I think that's what my daughter has. Yeah. She's very coachable, like, and I hope, you know, like coaches and see that, you know, that, you know, my daughter's coachable and she listens, you know, she adapts real well to like whatever she's trying to accomplish. You know,
you gotta have you gotta have a teachable spirit.
Yeah, man. Yeah, absolutely.
And I mean, you just never know. She may be doing both.
Yeah,
doing both.
I mean, we don't know.
So much. We've gone away from that renaissance of being able to be an athlete, an artist, an engineer, all the things. Yeah. I was listening to these guys talk about, you know, how like there's that saying that a jack of all trades, a master of none, and we use that as a negative saying. But when that saying was actually created, that was for positivity. So back then it was that you were a jack of everything because you had to be a jack of everything. Right. You know, you didn't have these people that were.
Think about it.
But now we use that as a negative thing. Oh, you're a jack of all trades, but a master of none.
But it's like they make fun of that when they tell that, right? That's but it's just like, no, like there was actually people that fucking.
But that saying actually comes, like, I think, from Shakespeare, and it was a positive saying of the person.
That's awesome.
So it's like, it's nuts the way the viewpoint of the world is when times are changing and stuff. Mm-hmm. So, hey, you just never know. I mean, you're cutting hair and doing a podcast.
Dude, how sick is that? That's fucking sick. That's cool, man. That's fucking cool.
Well, I didn't mean like she's not.
No,
like,
I meant like
because he said like the brother's trying to push her, and it's like if this is her thing, like
one's always gonna be a little bit more.
That's what I more meant. Like that was like she's never gonna like. Like if she's focused on softball, she's
I agree. You're not retiring from barbering to just 100% podcasting.
Yeah.
You're not Joe Rogan.
I literally like straight up. I mean like straight up. I just finished a haircut and then I swept up. Like Manny's like he's like working hard. I was like, yeah, man. Like cleaned up, drank some coffee, sat down, and started talking on this podcast.
But how cool is that, dude? Like who does that, dude? Like to me that. You have something special, dude. Something special going on.
Appreciate that.
You know what I mean? Hey. I hope this takes off for you because no one. I at least to me, dude. I've never seen. Not only are you a fucking awesome barber, but to fucking do a podcast like after hours is fucking amazing, dude. Yeah. It's fucking cool, man. Yeah. It's really cool.
It's, you know, honestly, it's the backing of my brother. Like he believes in me and trusts me, and like that means a lot, like especially like the way from my past and everything. Like I didn't set a standard of trust and having someone believe in me, and like, you know, my brother he uplifts me a lot, and I appreciate that a lot.
That's awesome,
like,
dude.
Like I wouldn't even be like in doing the podcast and doing the barbering without him. Like there is no Sam L. Barber without Tony.
Yeah.
Like, and there isn't no LocoLove for sure without Tony.
Yeah, I think that's like I'm assuming that's a special bond you guys have, and I'd like to see more of it because whatever you guys are doing here, it's amazing.
Cool.
Yeah,
it's really amazing. Man. It's cool, man.
No, we want to keep pushing the envelope.
Yeah, definitely. Like, I mean, that's the thing. Like when we started the podcast, it's all about. I mean, part of it's business, but part of it's also about passion. That's why we're bringing different people with their passion. So it's cool to see you're passionate about music and where it took you. You know, kid from Jefferson, West Side, San Antonio, then traveling the world, playing with a band and stuff, and just
I mean,
dope. It's dope, bro.
Yeah, man. As far as like future projects and stuff like that, like I have a couple that I'm doing stuff like that at my own time, obviously, because I'm just so busy, man. My daughter keeps a lot of time away from me, and family, and I'm gonna have a newborn.
There's a balance.
Soon. Yeah, I'm trying to balance it, man.
You gotta balance, bro.
It wasn't
Got to.
where I was like 16, 17, where I had ample
You running
time.
free, right?
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I fucking wanted it all. You know what I mean? And
it's different now. You got responsibilities.
I do, man. I'm 37.
A lot of things going in your life, and
exactly, man. Exactly.
Up, man.
And
so, but you still got the passion, though, man.
Yeah,
Just keep the passion, bro.
Yeah,
as long as you got the passion, man.
I don't think that will ever run away from me, if you will.
Yeah.
I think music is a big thing for me still. There's a lot of newer bands that are coming into play and stuff like that, and I'm like, man, this is cool. That, like, you get to respect it. You know what I mean? All the newer bands that are coming through and stuff like that. So
cool. Christian walked in here with your band.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I was like, hey, you got your Theo's band on you? He's like, yeah, man. It was a Teardrop.
Yeah. It's another project that I was doing with the guitar player for Bitter End. Actually, he's actually singing for that band. So I'm doing that, and then I think I'm gonna let the cat out of the bag on this one, but I'm working. We're trying to get a band together, just me, Daniel, and Griff. They live here. Well, obviously, they live here now, and we're probably gonna do like a side band and hopefully do something. You know what I mean? So that's gonna be really pretty cool because because that
reunion.
Yeah, basically like a small reunion without the other guy, who lives in Cincinnati or whatever. But it's still gonna be hardcore. It's still gonna be punk rock. But, we're trying to. It's gonna be a little different, you know what I mean? Just kind of stay away from like the Bitter End, like we don't want it to sound like Bitter End. We want it to sound like this project. You know what I mean?
Well, like Bitter Ends was like y'all's 20s, y'all's teens. This is y'all as like a family man, as owning a house, like, you know what I'm saying? So you guys growing from there, so it has to be something different.
Yeah,
You're in a different part of your life now.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that's we're gonna probably do that, and hopefully look out for 2023. Do something a little something with those two guys, and kind of roll with it, man, and see where it goes.
Well, keep us in the loop. We definitely want to push it out to her.
Yeah, definitely, man, definitely.
Maybe we can attend something or check it out.
You would go to a show?
I would go to a show.
That's awesome. That's fucking cool.
It'd be interesting.
Yeah. Have you ever been to a hardcore show?
No, I have not been to a hardcore show.
Wow, it's something to experience.
Yeah, that's what it sounds like. So
yeah.
Manny's going to.
It's a lot of Manny's.
No, you know what? I'm game. I'll go.
Go.
Yeah, I'll go. I'm game.
We can go. We'll be like
we'll have
what
to do
I call
our,
like the.
We'll have to do our metal
the dad
rocker
section
makeover.
will be back there. You know what I'm talking about? The dad section, way
the
back
dad
where it's
section.
like,
Oh man,
we'll be back there. Like this is crazy.
Yeah.
I ain't getting in the mosh pit unless I rub some Bengay on first.
Yeah.
It's cool. Hey, I know, Sam, we were talking about the moisturizer. I know we talked a little bit about it the last time, just like tips on it.
Yeah.
I don't know if we need to close out on that or anything.
Definitely use it every day. Like,
big tip: use it every day.
Use it. Well, because I have them in here, and I'm like cutting the hair. They're like, "Can you hit my beard?" And I'm like, "Yeah." And then it just starts snowing, and I'm like, "Bro, you gotta moisturize, dude."
I hadn't thought of that.
Yeah, gotta moisturize, man. You gotta make sure the skin's breathing, man.
I think if you put it as your routine when you get out of the shower, that's like the first
that's
thing
the
you do.
perfect time.
Like,
especially because most men shower either with warm water or hot water. So
it's like anything. If you build it as a routine, like then you stop thinking about it. Like, that's a problem.
I do it after the shower now. Yeah, after the shower now is when I do it.
Yeah, that's
And like I said, my wife got me the little. So I'm good.
The little kit, yeah. You got the kit with the.
It's called
the SPF one and the nighttime.
Yep, it's morning and night.
Like after, like if you're doing like a scrub and like, the scrub. If you're doing the mask and everything, stuff that you just been like really deep down, like getting all that dirt out and everything, you're bothering your skin. Like you're irritating your skin in a way. In a good way, because you need to get it out, but you're still irritating it. You're getting it. Your face can even turn red. So you want to like cool it down. You want to cool it down, and you want to give it some life again, like, because you're gonna be.
I literally think like if you've never done it, try it for like 5 or 10 days, and you're gonna see the difference.
Oh yeah, man.
Even like with tattoos, like I obviously got a lot of tattoos, and it makes your tattoos pop out because when you're dry and everything, like, it doesn't pop out as much, or like you can see the dead skin on top of your tattoos. It exposes it even more. Like, I don't know. I didn't use moisturizer today on mine. So
I have to try that. You guys are kind of like talking about it. I'm like, fuck. Fuck, man. They fucking caught me.
I didn't know we were gonna do that, guys.
Yeah. No, it's awesome, and like it's cool, dude. Like,
well, yeah, we've been doing like just like tips for men, like some of the stuff that we don't talk about, like sometimes where we grow up, like we don't talk about using like, a different soap for our face. We use the same bar soap everywhere. And and so like
shouldn't do that, though.
As you start getting older, you start learning these different
you shouldn't be using the same body soap.
Yeah,
body soap is meant for body.
You got a face
soap is meant for a face.
So two different aspects, right? Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, so we just kind of been putting. There are things we learn. Right?
Yeah,
we're getting older. Like we're learning these things.
Yeah, because when you're growing up, you're necio. And you're just like
that, dude.
Yeah, you're just like mom, dad told you to take a shower, so you're just like in and out. You get older, you start, once puberty starts hitting, then you kind of start stinking even more. You're just like, I need to shower a little bit better.
Even kind of in the Chicano culture, it's like, oh yeah, you're using a facial, you're using a moisturizer. It's usually girl stuff.
Yeah,
it's not the guy thing. Like, it's not like, oh yeah, like every cholo's not going around.
Yes, there's not a lot of machismo in wearing
but you kind of throw it
an
to
avocado mask. You can't be the toughest dude on the street with an avocado mask.
But you can if you're wearing with your flannel with the top button and it's.
But at a certain point, like you get in life and you're like, oh, I don't need to be that guy. I just need a face that looks healthy now. Yeah. Like because the person that you're talking to or anyone's gonna be like, damn, this dude's ashy. Not only is he trying to act tough, he's ashy.
Yeah. But definitely recommend you guys going to Target or somewhere, finding some different moisturizers and test them out. Try what works for you.
Yeah, I've said it I think a few good times. I use a serum. I don't use because there's cream base. There's all types. But I use a serum. It's more oily, but it works out on my face all the time, and I don't break out on pimples because my face is so dry. Like that when I put the serum, it just gives it life. You know what I'm saying? Like so I definitely like if you're really dry, look for
so you're saying you just got to basically find what look for you. Whatever work for you. What you need to look out for. You got oily skin, oily skin. You got dry skin. You need to get something for dry skin, right?
Sometimes you'll move it around. Like when I first started doing it, like I was really like dry. I would get really dry right here on my cheeks and stuff. And so I started off with like a very ultra hydration one. Mm-hmm. And after a few months, I was like, okay, I don't need to pay for that overly expensive one because now it's already hydrated.
Yeah, because you brought it back to life. You brought it back to where it's supposed to be.
So then I went to a couple other ones and they worked just as fine.
I thought you were just always blushing.
No, I was just messing. I wish that's what it was, but no, it was always there. And it's like, I mean, you would get annoyed by it because my mom would tell me like, hey, you need to put like some kind of moisture there. I was like, moisturizer there. I was like, I ain't doing that crap. It'll be fine. It's whatever. Yeah. And then you kind of do it and you figure it out. But
you start learning. You're just like, you let go of some of the
pride.
Definitely pride. Yeah. Yeah. Because it was, I mean, even like with Tony, he was like, he would push back a lot about it. And like, he finally, but once he got into it, that was it. Like, you were like he knows more stuff about like facial products and all that than I do. Like, he'll tell me stuff and I'm like, I didn't know that. Like, it's cool.
Yeah, I definitely like reading stuff, so we get into that. But I think with all that, man, we appreciate you being on. I mean, it was cool hearing about your passion and everything.
Yeah, man. Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, you have a dope journey, dude. Yeah, that's continuing too.
Like. Yeah. Hopefully, I still have stuff left in the tank, as they say. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But as you know, from touring, playing from city to city, and you know, loading your own gear and stuff like that, it gets tiring after a while, man.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It'll take a toll on you. You know what I mean?
Cool.
But I think music will always be there for me.
Nice.
Of course it will.
Yeah, and I think music is great.
It's timeless, man.
I think music is great, and I think for everybody, you know what I mean? Whatever you're into, man, whatever you're into, go to the roots of it.
Yep.
Because once you do that, you'll start venturing out into other things and other great things. And yeah, man, you know,
Yeah.
hopefully it'll keep on going for me and stuff like that. And I think I'll know when like my time will be up to like, hey, look, I'm done. I've done everything. Like I'm good. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Let me focus on my family now. But I think I still have a little bit left in the tank. That way I can go off to the sunset, if you will. You know what I mean?
That's cool.
Yeah, man.
No, that's cool, and definitely let us know when you have some new projects. We definitely will.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely.
Try to get out to some of them, like we said.
Yeah,
Yeah,
if
man.
you have like a website or anything that you want us to post up, we'll post up for the band and everything. Like,
Yeah, definitely, man.
Yeah,
Definitely.
that's one of our things. This is a community that we're building. We want like the previous people that were on here, like to check you out. You check them out. Like we all just want to connect everybody.
I think, yeah, man. I think that whole type of like networking type stuff, it really, really helps.
Yeah.
Really, really helps for, I guess, both parties, if you will. You know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely.
So, fucking, you guys are doing here is fucking amazing, man.
Thanks.
It's cool,
Appreciate
man.
that, dude.
You know,
Yeah.
like I said, I don't see much barbers doing a podcast after they're done with their shift or whatever.
Yeah, dude.
What you guys are doing, you guys have something here, man. Keep it going because it's fucking cool.
All right, dude,
Yeah,
appreciate
thank
it.
you,
Yeah,
dude.
man. It's
Yeah,
fucking cool.
definitely appreciate it. And you guys hit the like and subscribe button. When we get to that 100, we still need to figure out what we're gonna do. So throw some comments in there.
Hey, we're halfway there, dude. I saw that we were like at 50 something subscribers.
All right, so
We need more.
Wow.
And Tony will get a tattoo.
That's not what we said for the 100, but we'll keep going for there. We said some other stuff, but throw something in the comment box
Yeah.
and make some suggestions, and we'll go from there.
Oh,
And
yeah, the handsome feet.
handsome
Maybe the
feet,
handsome
that's right.
feet.
We may have to go handsome feet. We'll check that out. We'll do a
Yeah.
podcast while we get some pedicures going on. with that said,
That said, local love is forever.
we're out.